boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, so I included a link to a video. There's multiple videos. I originally saw it on TikTok. I can't remember the guy. He's been posting a lot of stuff out there and calling out people who are basically pieces of shit. But the video, you know, I could possibly see how some people might take the cop's side to some extent, but I can't see how they could support the cops' decision to do what they did. Did the cops get paid by the hour, or do they get paid a salary? Do they have more to do than what they're doing at that moment? I mean, did they have to hurry up and deal with the situation and move on to the next? Or do they have the ability to deal with the situation as what has arisen and wait for maybe better accommodations and whatnot? I mean, hourly or not, they work so many hours a day, I would imagine, and you know, they gotta do something. Anyways, the video shows a black man getting pulled over in Dayton, Ohio. That's not that far from where I work. It's like an hour, 2 hours maybe. I think it's more than an hour. I think, yeah, I don't know. Hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that. It's not that far. Anyways, the guy gets pulled over apparently for his window tint, which he said in one of the videos that it was 20%. But he got pulled over because his window tint was too low. Now he's a paraplegic, and he didn't have his wheelchair with him because he has people help him in and out. So in other words, he probably has, you know, a wheelchair at each location, and they come out and help him get into the wheelchair so that he can move around. But he did not have his wheelchair with him at that moment, which, you know, can be understandable, because trying to handle a wheelchair in and out of a vehicle like that would be difficult. And I would imagine if they don't have the money to get one of those fancy vans that you can drive a wheelchair up into and lock it down and drive. So they got to help him in and out. I imagine about the only thing they could afford was to put hand controls in the car. Well, paraplegics, people without legs, people even without arms, they drive all the time. They have ways to do it. As long as they can show that they can operate the vehicle, they can get the license to drive with, you know, a endorsement on there saying that they require you know, hand controls or whatever. But it seems cops don't fucking care anymore, because after he had told them multiple times, because they want to take him out of they want him to get out of the car, okay, so that, because he has a history. All right, so he was dumb in the past, a history of drugs and violence or weapons or something like that. I can't remember, but I mean, he has a history. He's paraplegic now. He's not going to be doing shit. I don't know why he's a paraplegic, but it could very well be because of what he once did, his history, his past, caught up with him, and he got himself injured. Now he can't walk. It's like the Ice Cube, Ghetto Vet. Anyway, the point is, as he's telling him, look, I can't get out of the car. I'm a paraplegic. I can't walk. And the cop, says, well, I'll help you get out. Okay, explain to me how that's going to work. Is the cop going to drag him out? We're talking about a cop that's got to manhandle another man so that a dog can sniff the car. But I have a sneaky suspicion that these cops didn't agree, or didn't believe him that he was a paraplegic, because there was multiple times when they told him to get out of the car, and they started getting forceful, because he's like, look, no, I don't want you touching me. Go get a supervisor. He asked multiple times to get a supervisor. That's when the cops started getting mad and saying, no, I'm going to pull you out of the vehicle, then I'll call the cops. Or call the supervisor, white shirt, whatever they wanted to call him. And there was a point there where they have their hands on the guy, and he's like, I'm a paraplegic, I cannot get out of the car, multiple times. And yeah, he did threaten him with, like, if you touch me, pull me out of this car, you will get a lawsuit against you. But he had every right to say that. Cops can find that threatening if they want. That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't give the cops permission to do anything, other than the fact that he says, I'm a paraplegic, I don't want you touching me, and if you do, I'm filing a lawsuit against you. Okay. He said, get a supervisor, a white shirt out here. So that way, he's not trusting the cops. Well, I mean, what has been going on? How many black men have been killed by cops recently? I mean, there's just not... cops don't have a good reputation about them right now. And these two white cops, what looked like, because the only thing I saw was their arms. Obviously, they didn't get the message. Because they continued to drag him out of the vehicle. They grabbed a hold of him. But while they're doing, multiple times even before they put their hands on him and after, they're saying, get out of the car, get out of the car, get out of the car. And when they got both their hands on there and they're getting ready to drag him out, they said, get out of the car, get out of the car, get out of the car. That's like... That's like if you're walking down the sidewalk and the cop comes behind you in his cruiser and he's like, pull over, and you stop and you stand there and you're staring at him and he keeps telling you to pull over, like you haven't pulled over. But you're not even driving a car, you're just walking. It's that kind of Super Trooper or something like that? They had a scene in there where the guy was pulled over and the cops are on the mics and they're doing that exact same thing I said. Pull over now. And the guy's already pulled over, got sitting there waiting on them. I ain't seen the whole movie. I've only seen clips of it that they advertise. But, I mean, sure, that's funny in the context of that movie, I suppose, that they're heckling someone. But nowadays, with everything that's going on, it's not funny. It's not good. It's just not. What the fuck is going on? That's the only thing that anybody can ask. What the fuck is going on? Why is this shit fucking happening? I remember Rodney King. Can't we all just get along and all this kind of shit? Well, my parents were against Rodney King. Why? Because he was black, and my parents are fucking racists. They're subtle racists, though. They don't, they didn't like Martin Luther King. He was a nuisance. They're those kind of racists. They don't go around, using the N-word and all that stuff. I don't even know why I said the N-word. I usually just say it when it comes to that context of example. But someone might call me a racist because I use the word as an example. But no, they don't. My parents don't do that, and they're like, well, I got black friends and stuff like that. That don't mean shit anymore. I fight my own tendencies towards thinking that some black guy with, dreadlocks is possibly some criminal or something like that. But, that's how I was raised, and I don't like thinking like that. I have to fight it every freaking day because that's not what I think when I think about it. It's just a natural reaction based on how I was raised. But they're telling the guy to get out of the car. The guy says, I am a paraplegic, I cannot get out of the car. They keep telling him to get out of the car, and then they pull him out of the car and they handcuff him. They even threaten to tase him because he's yelling for help because he was pulled out of the car. They're saying, well, you're making this harder on yourself. Okay, explain to me how you would have drug him out of the car and it would have made it easier on him. Would you made it easier on him by dragging him out of the car or dragging him out of the car? The only way you're going to make it easy on this guy is if you would have brought a wheelchair out and had him sit in the, helped him get into the wheelchair, and he could sit there while your dog sniffed because there might be drugs. Who the fuck cares if there's drugs? What the fuck are drugs gonna do? Please tell me if he's got an ounce of fucking weed on him. What's that? How's that hurt anybody? I don't care if he's got a fucking pound of cocaine. I doubt some paraplegic is going to be dealing drugs out of a car that he can't get out of without assistance. I think those days are over for him. If that's what he was doing in the past. I mean, he has a past with drugs. What'd you do? Catch him with a joint in his pocket? I mean, he had some Quaaludes, Molly's, whatever. Damn. What, he had some crack on him? Maybe it's the blue kind, and he got it from Heisenberg. Seriously, the only people that made the situation harder were the cops, in my opinion. I could be wrong. If you have an objection, put it in the comments. But, I mean, step out of the car, sir. I can't. My legs are useless. Step out of the car, sir. I can't walk. Step out of the car, sir. If you don't step out of the car, I'm going to drag you out of the car. I'm a paraplegic. I cannot walk, sir. I can't get out of the car. You need to step out of the car, sir, or I'm going to pull you out of the car. Officer, would you please call a supervisor, a white shirt out here? Because this is wrong. And of course, you know, ugh, damn, hiccups. Once the guy requested a supervisor, the cop got mad. And he got more forceful. The whole time they're pulling him out of the car. Get out of the car, get out of the car, get out of the car, get it. Yeah, okay. It's like telling someone to breathe underwater. And if they don't, I don't know, you're going to make them breathe underwater anyways. What the fuck, man? What the fucking fuck? That's like asking a little person who's like 3 foot tall, telling them to stand 6 foot tall. What other analogies can you come up with? I mean, that's, yeah, it's like asking a blind person to read the original copy of the Constitution or the Declaration of Independence or Hiroshima. I mean, I think we fucking lost it in this country. And it's always some white cop against a black cop. Or a black cop, black guy. But this time it's a black guy that's got disabilities, as in he can't walk. I don't get it. I really don't. I mean, you know, this is why we have the Black Lives Matter, right? Because black people are treated poorly, or killed, or injured, or arrested, or whatever, imprisoned, disproportionately to white people for the same things. George Floyd was killed over a supposed, an alleged counterfeit $20 bill. I mean, why would you need to get that violent with... I mean, where's the white person that got killed by a cop for a small non-violent infraction of the law. Because you know, white people do it all the frickin' time. So tell me, where's the white people that die from the cops? Black Lives Matter. That's why that exists. Because of cops like that. Luckily, they didn't kill the guy. Those cops should at least lose their jobs. The cop should have called the supervisor, told him to come over, and either witnessed what was going on or make an assessment on the situation and say, you know what, just let him go. Or here's an even better situation. Maybe the cops could have said, okay, well, where are you going? The guy tells him and said, okay, we're going to follow you there. And then when your help comes and gets you out of the vehicle, then we'll have our cops search the vehicle, or our canine search the vehicle for drugs. I mean, you're not going to lose sight of him. You're going to follow him, right? And if he tries to run, well, that would be on him. That would be stupid. There's a situation that you could, okay, well, this is the accommodation that we're going to do. We're going to follow you to your place. They're going to help you get out into your wheelchair, and then y'all can sit there and watch us search the vehicle, and if we don't find anything, you're free to go. And I don't think he should be charged with resisting arrest. What is it, blocking them from doing their job, because he can't get out of the fucking car. They had to drag him out. Then they handcuffed him like he's gonna run away. Like he's any threat to them, laying on the ground. And I think they roughed him up a little bit more than what they needed to. They're always like, stop, stop, stop. Well, I mean, they could have been handled a lot better. Should they be fired? Should the cops be fired? What do you think? Should be fired? Maybe a week's suspension without pay. At the very least, and a reprimand, and that's their last warning if they do anything like that again. I think they should have a retraining thing. You get one chance. Alright? If you fuck up, you get one more chance. Unless you kill somebody. In that case, then you're going to get tried to the fullest extent of law. We're not fucking around anymore. If you rough up someone that's not being violent, if you're unsure about a situation, don't push your authority. Call your superior. Have them come down, or whatever needs to be done. Where I work, if I'm not sure about something, they always tell us, don't take it upon yourselves. Call dispatch. Call your supervisor. It doesn't hurt to make the phone call to get the right, because if the supervisor tells you to do something, then, you push the responsibility onto the supervisor. If dispatch tells you to do something, you push that responsibility onto the dispatcher. You're supposed to get a load somewhere, and they're saying they don't have a load, and you call dispatch. You tell them that. That means that, you didn't come back on your own and just forget to get the load. No. If you're not sure about something, call and ask. Well, when you're dealing with other people's lives, see, I just deal with packages. Worst case scenario, you don't get your package on time. But on the other hand, you go and yeah, you're dealing with other people's lives, and they ask for a supervisor, just get the damn supervisor. If they're a paraplegic, do your job without having them get out of the vehicle. Unless they have a wheelchair there with them, and you can help them get in and out, you're going to have to accommodate them. You can have another officer bring a wheelchair from somewhere so they can sit there. I mean, why? Why take it that far? The guy did not escalate the situation. The guy didn't want to be touched by the cops, and he wanted a supervisor there to remedy the situation without getting to the place where it got. But they did not want that. They wanted to make it worse. They wanted to push their authority. Maybe they didn't believe that he couldn't get out. Why did they take that chance? They could have had a supervisor come out, and then the supervisor says, "Yeah, drag him out of the car. I'll take full responsibility for this. You're doing this under my orders." Okay, fine. Supervisor came out, the guy was still abused, treated poorly, and charged with bullshit charges. Well, you didn't follow the cop's orders. You didn't get out of the car. Oh boy. I don't know. Watch the video. There's a few other ones floating around, but what do you think? I know I'm kind of long-winded. It's been a pretty long video so far, but yeah, just check it out. I mean, why? Why does it have to be like this? Why do we have to treat black people differently? You know, I work with black people. I don't have a problem with them. They're nice people as far as I know. Even the ones that look a little rough around the edges, like they're going to be, some kind of gangster or something, That's just how they look. You know, it's like resting bitch face. This person might seem like they're always upset, always pissed off. But in reality, they have a resting bitch face. Oh well. Anyways, let me know what you think. Have a good one. Jesus Christ.